Hello and welcome or welcome back to part 16 now of the Diablo like series. And we have a new magic skill for the Demon Knight. In the last one, we created some laser eyes for him, but in the Diablo timeline, lasers didn't exist, so I'm just gonna call him like Hell Gaze instead of laser eyes because it's really laser. The word doesn't fit in this context. So Hell Gaze, which are laser eyes. That's what we gave him in the last one. And in this one, he's got a new magic skill, and it's going to be summoning minions from hell to fight by his side. All right. But before we get into that, what I want to do, because we're already at part 16, so 16 videos in already. That's crazy. And we're still working on basically just the main characters. But what I want to do is recap all of the magic skills from each playable character so far, and that's everybody except for the Holy Knight. So why don't we get right into it and start a new game here. And this is for anybody who's just coming into this video without seeing any of the previous videos, so they can kind of see what's going on with these other characters in case you see something that you want to try to replicate, and you'll know which video to go back to. Like hers, it would be, the arrow ones, and hers are pretty much self-explanatory in the titles. I think the occult blood witches, like Abyssal Bolt and a vortex black hole and stuff. And so yeah, we're gonna recap each one of these except for this guy. And like I said in the last one, I'm not even sure if I want to keep him because he's kind of too much like him. And I want to keep him. I like him and his skills so far. So let's get right into it. Let's start from this side and work our way over with the archer. Let's pick her, give her a name, and we'll call her Bowie. Alright, and then confirm it. She'll get loaded in. Alright, so now we have some targets up here. If we click the skill tab, now we've got her skills. She's got a regular arrow, fire arrow, ice arrow, and explosion arrow. So let's try the regular arrow first. We select it, and then right click on the enemy we want to kill. Then let's go to the fire arrow, and let's kill this guy. That'll set him on fire. And only 2 kills him because they're more powerful. Let's go to the ice arrow. We'll get this guy. Alright, that killed him, and it slowed him down and changed his material to look chilled and blue, and you can see his animation is much slower. And then exploding arrow. This should hit all 3 of these, I think. Will not hit them, but the explosion effect will catch them on fire if they're close enough. Okay, and then she can run around. She can also do melee. And that is the archer and her skills. Alright. Now, if we go back in, main menu, we're going to click New Game. And this time we'll go next to the Occult Blood Witch, take her, and we'll just call her Bloody. Confirm. Okay. And her skills, the boxes look different. I haven't changed them, but they still work and they do what they're supposed to do. So the Abyssal Bolt is going to be one of the first skills she'll be able to pick early on. And what you do is you right click and aim at whatever enemy you want. And it throws that kind of magic dark matter bolt at an enemy. Okay, it's pretty powerful. You can see it's one-shotting them. And then we got a vortex, which is like a black hole, and it'll suck them in. So if I shut it off maybe over here, see them crawling for their lives trying to get away, but they can't. And then bloodstone turns enemies to stone. So let's get their attention, get them running after me, and boom. Now they're stone. And it stopped them dead in their tracks, and their animations just turned them to stone. And eventually they'll turn back. But those are her 3 spells. Alright, so now we'll go back in, start a new game. And she's playable. You can play her, but she's got no skills yet. But I mean, if we wanted to load her in, and you can see that she can move around and stuff and be loaded in, and she just needs some spells. And you know, like I said, she can. I'm not sure if she can melee or not yet. Let's try it. Oh, looks like she can. Yep, so she can melee, but she doesn't have any spells yet. And they pretty much killed her. Yeah, she's just using her hands right now. So, yeah, that's her. So, let's go back in. She'll be the next one we give spells to, will be the sorceress. After the Demon Knight here. And then, click New Game. Then we'll go to the Thief. And we'll call her, Steely. Alright, now the Thief, she uses stealth and traps. Right now, I want to give her throwables as well, but if I pick stealth, and I right click, she goes into stealth mode. Now, as you can see in stealth mode, she moves much slower, but they won't detect her, and she can stealth kill one shot enemies while in stealth mode. Alright, and then right click and come out of it. Or she has poison traps and explosion traps so far. So let's pick poison trap, set it down like right here. We'll go over and get 1 or 2 of their attentions over here. Come get me. Boom. So you can see his texture turn green like he's poisoned. We get the poison cloud. And then the explosion trap, we'll set that off right here. And I'll go get their attention. And this will take the last of them. Boom! They're all dead. Okay. And then, like I said, she's got the stealth, and she can stealth kill. So that's the Thief and her skills so far. Let's go back into it. Okay, click new game. And now we're on to the Demon Knight that we were working on, and we'll show, let's see, Demon, oh boy. You. Alright, so now in the last one, he did not have a skill panel, but I made one for him. So now he's got the Hell Gaze, which if I pick it and show, it's the laser eyes that you saw in the last one. And you notice I hooked the mana up to it also, so watch the mana while I'm using it. You see it goes down pretty quickly while you're using it. Okay. The imbue fire, imbue cold, and imbue poison. Alright, if I select one of them and I right click, now you can imbue your sword with fire, cold, or poison, and while you're using it, it will go down steadily at a slower rate than the gaze. And you right click again to get rid of it. And you can do, like I said, both cold and poison. Alright. And then this is the new one, Hell Spawn. Okay. So we're going to summon a Hell Spawn demon to come fight by our side, and he'll stay with us as a companion until he dies. I believe I gave him 25 health. So once I spawn him, he's going to see these enemies and start going after them. And I'm guessing he'll make it probably 2 through before they kill him. But there he is there, and he's going to go. And now that cost me 15 mana, so I won't be able to spawn another one of him until I have at least 15 mana. Let's see if we can get a little closer and see what they're doing over there. So see, he's got one. Working on the second one, and as you can see, I get experience for him killing them. Sort of like in Diablo, if you're mercenaries and such. Oh, see, he killed him. So he did get 2 through. I called it. He got 2 through, and boom. Now he's gonna protect me. Go after him. And he should be able to kill this guy easily, because he got through 2 of them the last time. Got him. Okay, man, grab the health potion. Okay, so now what he'll do is he'll just kind of patrol around me to protect me. Alright. And right now I could click as many of these as I wanted if I had the mana for it. But I'm probably going to limit it to like maybe 5 tops you can summon. Oh, see, he's going after him. He detected him. So he should be able to kill at least these 2. And if I pick Hellgaze now, I'll take out this guy to make it more of a fair fight for him. And he should be able to take him out. And I leveled up, so my mana... Oh, shit. Killed him. Okay, so let's spawn another one. So now all the enemies are dead, he's just gonna move around me and patrol around me and protect me. And we'll see another one come up in a second. When I get 15 mana, I'll spawn another one so you can see that. There's a chest here that wasn't there before, because I'm starting to get assets. Oh, the second one. I'm starting to get assets that I'm going to need for the game and place them in. So yeah. And they play sounds, kind of like little demon grunting sounds, and they'll laugh. Every once in a while. Yeah, so they'll follow me around. If I move around, they'll come to me. And once they get close enough, they'll just start patrolling around again. Go back up here. They'll follow me back up here. And like I said, I made the panel for him. Now, again, these all just say names, but they're going to have icons for the spells. And, I've started adding text areas where we can put the number of skill points that are in each one that I'm going to do. The Hellgaze, badass. It's a spell towards the end that you can get. But yeah, these guys, this is his new magic skill, is the demon, the hell spawns. And we'll just spawn one more in a second when it gets up to 15, and then we'll get into how it's done through the code. Oh shit. All right, that's still good. We still have 15. So hell spawn. So now I have 3. And again, right now I could have a million of them if I wanted to. You know, crash the game, but a million. But I could have as many as I wanted right now because I haven't limited it. But you know, you do need the mana to do it. If I try doing it like right now, I'm trying to spawn one and I can't because you need 15 mana to spawn. So we save and exit, and now we go back to load game. You'll see we have everybody we just created, and like Bo, you get the model of who the character is right there, and there's Bloody right there, Hottie, Steely the thief, and then you got Hellboy. I changed his material a little. It's a little too shiny though. I gotta change it back. But yeah, you can load in any of your previous plays. Like it even shows he's level 2 here, and the rest are still level 1. If I let it load Bowie back up, then we get Bowie back, and her experience stuff didn't save because I didn't save it. But if I go back here and see if we can get level 2 out of her. So yeah, she's level 2 now. And we'll level 2 with 20 experience. So if I save and exit here, I go to load game and I load her back up. You can see she's level 2 right here. Load her back up. And yeah, she's got her 20 experience. She's level 2 still. And yeah, so that's a recap of all their magic skills so far. They basically all got melee attacks they can use. And I don't know if I showed you that on everybody. You saw it kind of on the sorceress, but she's not wielding a weapon. It really doesn't do much damage melee style. But say if we loaded in Bloody and wanted to go kill this guy, they're all going to attack me when I try to do it, but she can do it. Go in and, you know, you get the sword trail. And, yeah, they're killing me, so we're just going to vortex their ass. Boom. But you see that she can melee. They all can melee. And she's wielding kind of a wand with purple top. And I think I need 15 for the vortex. But yeah, she just barely made that. But yeah, they can all melee. So yeah, let's get into the new minions code. Okay. So for the minions to actually be hurt by the enemies when they're fighting, I had to adjust the enemy AI that we had previously made. So I'll show you anything I can see that's new with that. And it's probably done, anything new would be down the bottom. So right here I've added a public bool called fighting minion and set it to false. Right. And then down in check for hit right here. Down in check for hit, we used to just check for the class chosens, and then get their particular script so that we could have them take damage from us in our attack if we hit them. But I've added if hit collider compare tag equal. That's all for player, for the player tag, because any of the players has the player tag. Even though they have different scripts, they all have the player tag. But the minions have a tag called minion. So I've added this new if statement, and it checks to see if the hit collider compare tag minion and fighting minion equals true. Then we set our attack damage like we would here with the normal players. And then again, if fighting minion equals true, because the minion becomes the player to him. That's why it still says player. And we'll get into that too. Player.gameObject.getComponent, Hellgate Minion. This time it goes to the Hellgate Minion script and says take damage. Okay, so that's how they damage the minions when they're fighting them. Now the Hellgate Minion, this is all new because I just made it. So let's go through it. In usings, we're using the Unity Engine AI because he's got a nav mesh agent. We're using system collections because we're running an enumerator in here. And we've got the public class, Hellgate Minion. It's mono behavior. Now we have a private transform called player, and that's for the actual player, the Demon Knight. So we can find him and patrol around him and protect him, and we need his transform. So we've got a private transform called player. We've got a private transform called enemy, and it's equal to null. We have two public floats for follow distance and patrol radius. And then another one for idle time. And the idle time is when he's patrolling around me and not fighting an enemy. Once he gets to the spot he's patrolling to, he'll stay idle for that amount of time. And then move on to a new spot around me patrolling. We have a private animator called Anim, a private nav mesh agent called Agent, private float called Idle Timer, and that's what's used to count down the idle time. Private vector 3 called Patrol Target, and I'm not sure I use this because it's looking like it's not being used right now. Public audio clip array called Minion Sounds, and if we go into the audio folder here, all right, it's these three sounds right here. So that's one of them. Another one. And that's the third one. So those three are in that array. And if we go to the prefabs and go to the Hell menu, you can see in the code that we've got the minion sounds array right here, set to 3, and we've got the 3 sounds in the array there. So that's the audio clip array called minion sounds. Then we have declare our private audio source sound. Well, I call it sound. Public float for the current health, I set it to 25, so he can be hurt and die. We got a few serialized fields, one for attack range, one for attack cooldown, one for minimum damage, one for maximum damage. Then we have another one for a private layer mask called enemy layers, so he can detect the enemies because they are on the enemy layers. Then we got a public game object, a spawn minion FX prefab, and that is the fire and smoke that appears as he spawned in, is that prefab. It's particle effects. Then we've got a private float for last attack time, and that defines how often he attacks. It takes the last attack time and then counts down until he's ready to be able to attack again. All right, in the start, we get the agent and get the component of NavMesh agent. Same with the animator and sound, we get their components. Then we start the coroutine, play random minion sounds, and that's down here. The enumerator, play random minion sounds. And in this enumerator, I say while true, float wait time equals random.range, 4 to 10. You'll return new wait seconds wait time. And then if minion sounds dot length is greater than 0, audio clip equals minion sounds random dot range 0 and minion sounds dot length. So it picks a random one between the three, and then sound play one shot clip. It plays it. So that's what that does. Okay, so we start the coroutine, and then we run this function, choose new patrol target. Okay, because that's why we do this in the start, because usually you're going to spawn them near you, but you could spawn them near an enemy. But if you spawn them near you and there's no enemies, then this just tells them to start patrolling around the player and protect them. And that is right here. So void, choose new patrol target. If no player, then because I did get without this, because up in the update, all right, I have this the same thing. If no player, player equals game object dot find game object with tag player dot transform. All right, and then return if no player. And then it does, if no enemy and stuff. But down here in the choose new patrol target, I was getting, even though it wasn't affecting the game, I was getting an error saying that the player was null. But it's weird because they were still patrolling around the player, so obviously it wasn't null to them, but that error did come up. So I threw this in and it got rid of it. But again, it just checks if the player is null. Then find the player by its game object tag, find game object with tag, dot transform, because player is a transform. Okay, but yeah, choose new patrol target. After that, we do a vector 2 random offset, and it's equal to random inside unit circle times patrol radius. And then we've got a vector 3 target equals player position plus new vector 3 random offset dot x 0 and random offset dot y. And then we've got agent dot set destination to target. So that's how they find their patrol spots around you. Right. So again, in the enemy. Now, once the player has been found by his tag, it goes to this if statement. It says if enemy equals null, all right, then agent dot is stopped equals false. Make sure the agent can move. Float distance to player equals vector 3 distance transform position player position. If distance to player is less than or equal to the follow distance. Okay, so in other words, I think the follow distance is like 8 units. So as long as he's within 8 units of the player, he'll patrol, and that's what this does. So it gets a raycast hit, then a vector 3 origin for the transform position, plus vector 3 up times 0.5f, and then vector 3 direction equals transform dot forward. Then we create a flow called radius and set it to 0.5, and a flow called cast distance and set it to 2. And then we say if physics sphere cast origin, radius, direction, which we all set up here, out hit cast distance. So if we hit something within that sphere cast, namely the player, what we're doing is checking for the player. Because while patrolling around, I want them to avoid the player as much as possible. Okay. And what this is going to do is just, if he's walking forward and the player's directly in his path and it gets noticed by this sphere cast, then what he's going to do is find a new position behind him and turn around and go back. And then find a new spot around the player. So if hit collider compare tag player, hit collider compare tag minion. So he's going to do this for both players and other minions. Then we set a vector 3 retreat position equal to transform position minus the transform dot forward times 2. So he's going to find a spot behind him 2 units away. And then retreat position plus equals new vector 3 random dot range minus 1, 1 0, random.range -1, 1. And the 0 is so we stay on the same Y. And then the retreat position just takes a random -1 and 1 around the position we set. So we give it a little randomness. And then we say agent.set destination to retreat position. Okay. Then we've got if distance to player is greater than the follow distance, so the player has moved away and now you're further than 8 units away, then we set the destination to the player's position and catch up with them, follow them. Else, if agent.path pending and agent.remaining distance is less than or equal to 0.5, idle timer plus equals time.delta time. If idle timer is greater than or equal to idle time, we choose a new patrol target, and then we set idle timer to 0. So it's like when you saw them, they would walk to a spot around the player and stand there for a minute and be idle and kind of look around. Then after this amount of time, they would find a new spot and go to it. All right, and then that was if there's no enemy. But else, obviously there is an enemy. If enemy equals null, return. Okay, that way, just in case they saw an enemy but he died or something instantly after he found them, return. But else there is an enemy, agent.setDestination, enemy.position. All right, and we basically use the same way with the player, but we go after the enemy instead of the player. So it's if distance is less than attack range, because I think attack range is like 1.5 or something away or 1. Then and time.time minus last attack time is greater than or equal to attack cooldown. Okay, so if distance is less than attack range, in other words, we've made it to the enemy and we're attacking, so now we're checking for attack times and making sure that we don't just constantly attack, that there's a break in between. All right, and then if we're within attack range, we stop the agent from moving. Agent is stopped equals true. Then we set last attack time equals time.time. If enemy.getComponent, enemy AI dot current health is greater than 0, so he's still alive, then we rotate to look in the direction of the enemy we're attacking. We play the attack animation, and then we say enemy.getComponent, enemy AI take damage because we attacked. All right. And then we set a random.range damage between min and max damage. And if enemy.component current health is less than or equal to 0, then we set our enemy variable to null so that we can move on to a new enemy. Because his health is less than 0, we killed him. All right. If distance is greater than attack range, agent.stopped equals false. This way we set the agent again, so that if we're further away than attack range, we'll move back to him. And then we run this function, detect nearby enemies, okay, because we just killed one. So detect nearby enemies does a collider array called hits in an overlap sphere, and we do it from our position in a radius of 20, and we check the enemy layers. And if hits are greater than 0, okay, it's length, that means we found at least one enemy. So what we do is we take the first enemy we found, because 0 is always the first in an array, and we get the component enemy AI dot player equals this dot transform. So like I showed you in the enemy AI, everything is the player to them, okay, and that's up here. Public transform player, okay. Everything's the player to them that they attack. All right. If he's actually got a thing for confusion, because the sorceress is going to be able to have a confuse spell and confuse them, and If confused, then he's going to make a random enemy the player for him and attack the player that way. So everything's the player to the enemy. And the Hellgate minion here is telling the enemy to, in your code, player equals me, this transform. So that way the enemy, when you start attacking the enemy, it starts attacking back because it sees you as the player. And then we get the enemy AI again component, and we say dot fighting minion equals true, which is the bool on the enemy. All right, so because the enemy AI needs that fighting minion bool when it checks for hits, like I showed you in the beginning. Okay, so check for hits. All right, so for each hit, it was just checking class chosen for the players, but now we have minions, so I added the if hit collider compare tag minion and fighting minion equals true. Then if fighting minion equals true, take damage. So that way we know we're getting the right script to tell it to take damage. All right. So that's why we're telling it here. Players this transform and fighting minion equals true. We're telling the enemy that once we detect it. And then we set the agent destination to the enemy transformed opposition. So we detect it, we tell it we're the player, that you're fighting a minion, and move to it to attack. All right. And we've already gone through the attack code here, and then the detect nearby enemies. And then here we set float speed equal to agent.velocity.magnitude. And we set anim.set float speed to the speed of the agent. And we use speed, the speed float. Okay, we use that inside the minions animator, which I'll show you. Okay, you can see the float here, speed. It starts off at 0. Idle, walking, and attack. So if we go to walking, it's because speed is greater than 0.1. Okay, so it's going by the agent speed using this float. And we go back to idle if the speed float is less than 0.1. All right. And when we attack, we simply tell it to play this animation attack. And when it's done, this transition has an exit time, so it waits till it's done the attack animation, then transfers back to idle. Okay. Transitions back to idle. So yeah, detect nearby enemies. Choose patrol target. We did that. Take damage. So public void, take damage. Float amount. When the enemy hits us, it tells our code to take damage to run this function. And it passes the amount of damage that it inflicted in this parameter here, float amount. So when we run this function, because they hit us and told us to, we set current health minus equal to amount, the amount that they inflict on us, and they tell us they inflicted. And then we see if current health is less than or equal to 0, we're going to kill the minion. So we get component capsule collider, enable it to false, set the agent is stopped to true. Then we create a variable called temp and instantiate the spawn minion FX prefab again. All right, the Demon Knight actually spawns the first one, but he has it too and spawns it on himself when he dies, because it's kind of like an entrance and exit kind of effect. So he'll spawn it when he's being spawned in, and he'll spawn it when he dies. And then, so the variable temp, as you can see, is a game object variable. And we say destroy temp after 4 seconds. So we instantiate the effect and destroy it after 4 seconds, and then we destroy this game object, which is the minion, because his health is less than or equal to 0. And then, the eye enumerator, play sounds, we've already been through. So that is basically, I think, it for the new code. All right. If you want, we can see it one more time. She was the last one we loaded in, so we would have to go to load scene. Yeah, so if you're new to this series and you're interested in, say, the creation of the save files for each character, that's in one of the past videos, you know. So Hellboy, we'll pick him and load him in. And let's spawn a minion. Let's spawn him back here. Oh, I loaded, so I only had 9 mana the last time, so we'll have to wait a second. But yeah, this chest I found on the asset store, and it's got an opening animation, which is what I want. So I grabbed it and I just threw it in there to see what it looked like, and left it there. I should be able to spawn one any second. There. Now he did his. They're pretty cool looking. He's on the asset store too. I just looked up Demon in the search in the asset store, and he's in that search, and it's free. He's animated. He comes with his animations. Oh, he spotted him. Oh, look at now they're all going to go kill him. He's dead. Got our hell gaze out. Yeah, you're all dead. So yeah, the hell gaze or laser eyes was in the last one. And I showcased all the other effects, skills, and magic and stuff. And those are all in previous parts of this series. So yeah, that's it. And good job if you're getting on this far into it, because it's something to be proud of. It's a lot of work to make a game like this. So good work. And if you made it this far into the video and you're still watching, I just want to say thank you for sticking around. Please take a second right now to like the video, all right? Because I put a lot of work into it. And if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you get notified when the next episode of this series or any of my videos drops. And yeah, you got to be subscribed if you want to get notified, man. And so do that right now and show your support for this channel and its content. And I want to say thank you to all the subscribers that I already have. You guys are great. You rock. And that's it for now. So maybe in the next one, because now that he has some good spells, he's got all the imbues and the hell spawn and the hell gaze. I think he's done enough that I can maybe work on the sorceress a little bit. And I can tell you right now, one of hers I want to be teleport, because that's one of my favorite skills in Diablo 2. So we're definitely going to give her teleport. She's probably going to have basic sorcerer skills like, ice bolts and fire bolts and stuff. A teleport. Like I said, I want her to have the confusion spell to confuse the enemies to attack each other. And yeah, we're getting there, man. We're getting there with the characters. And do me a favor, leave a comment down below and let me know if you think I should keep that Holy Knight or scrap him for a different character. And maybe even what character you think I should have in here. All right, because like I said, he's I know he's a Holy Knight and he's different from the Demon Knight, but it's still, I don't know, so close to me that it just doesn't sit right with me. So I don't know. Yeah, leave a comment down below and tell me if you think I should get rid of the Holy Knight and what I should replace him, what kind of character I should replace him with. And yeah, and with all that said, until next time, peace out, y'all.